Welcome again. My name is Jeff Bama. So I will look at The Samaritan by John Lara, and this is the play or drama, the compulsory set book that is in syllabus uh, in this particular time. So what I will look at today are themes. What are the thematic concerns of the author, John Lara? I will look at some of them, despite the fact that there are so many. I will be able to sample a few so that at least I will be able to pass the other's message. I will begin by the theme of technology. This theme is rampant in the book. As the book begins, we are introduced to the two students at Sagrada Secondary School. And these two students, that is Alvita and Montana, they present a skit the time they are supposed to introduce the innovation to the public. So in this skit, they talk about robots which are mentioned on page 8. These robots, they show some technology. They cannot be there without technology. It shows the advancement of technology if there will be change which can be brought as a result of the new innovation. Technology for cleaning air and carbon emissions is also talked about in the skit, that is on page 9. And the same students also talk of the role of digital pigeonholes. They say that these pigeonholes are supposed to collect the information. That is where the volunteers of information are supposed to post their information so that it can reach where it is supposed to reach. The Samaritan app, they say that it's already taken over by the National Innovation and Communication Technology Corporation. That if they control it, it shows that there is some improvement digitally, which is evident in terms of technological growth. Uh, Alvita also talks of people taking photos and videos of illegal activities and posting them in this particular app. So that is also all about technology. Technology is highly evident. They also talk of the advancement of technology that generates body cells so that no one could grow old even at 250 years. A person remains beautiful and young all that period, even up to 250 years. That is all about technology, and there are several other evidences that can attest to this. We can also look at another theme. There is a theme that we call the theme of hope. Hope, or we can also talk of optimism. So, in this particular theme, we can give examples from the point where Alvita talks of people participating in volunteering information by taking photos of illegal activities, then posting them into the pigeonholes. On page 11, that one is evident. That hope is evident when, after the launching of this app or after the innovation of this new app, there are already volunteers who can send information. There is some hope and light in the tunnel that at the end of it all, this app, this innovation will be able to succeed due to volunteers who are already in the platform to give information by taking photos of illegal activities, photos and videos of all that happens which is not acceptable. in the public domain. So it's very clear as we continue. And in addition, Alvita, the same Alvita also talks about no one could grow old due to regeneration of body cells that we have mentioned earlier, that people could remain young up to the age of 250 years. It is talked about on page 8 that if the cells are regenerated under technology, as we have mentioned, that all these people will be able to live many years. Intelligent robots, okay, before I talk of intelligent robots, when this is still about hope, that there is hope if the new cells are regenerated. People will be able to have some hope and optimism due to increase in the number of years they will live on Earth. So that is some hope to that particular uh, innovation, if at all it goes on. It shows how technology will be able to grow in the future. So intelligent robots also would be made to replace judges and police to enhance justice, and there will be no discrimination at all. So if robots can replace judges and police to some extent, uh, when individuals are in charge of making judgment in courts, they may be biased because they are just human beings like any other. But the use of robots, they say that it's a certain hope that the use of robots will be able to reduce discrimination because robots will not never be biased. They will judge cases depending on the facts. They will not be biased at all. That is the hope that is in this innovation. Machines, they say, were also doing all the work for us. That intelligent robots are part of those machines that they talk about. Yeah, so this innovation is also great. It's very great. So there is also another theme that I can look at, and that is the theme of governance. We call it bad governance or negligence by leaders. It is evident and it is rampant in the entire Maracas municipality. That the leaders in Maracas municipality, as Alvita states, that resources are there in their municipality, but they should be well used. They need to be well used and put to the right channel for the correct purpose. That one is in page 10. Why does Alvita say this? Alvita is trying to say that there is poor management of resources, and what is needed is the correct management. What is required is the good leadership that will be able to manage the resources as expected so that they can be put to the right use, so that they can be used for the correct purposes. If there is proper management, then the resources will be able to manage to be managed the right way. Uh, People can cannot afford medicine. We talk about that people cannot afford medicine and good food at all in Maracas municipality, and they suffer from what we call malnutrition. This one is talked about on page 7. Why? Whenever you see a country or a place or a municipality where people suffer from malnutrition and people cannot afford medicine, they cannot afford good food, that is a clear indication of bad governance. It shows exactly that the, the governance in that particular region is, um, is poor and should be improved so that the people the citizens can enjoy the fruits of the work of their leaders. Crime is too high with people being slaughtered like chicken. Insecurity, that is insecurity of the highest order. Whenever there is insecurity, it's a clear indication also that there is bad governance and negligence by leaders or from leaders. That whenever the leaders are not careful, crime has to be uh, on a very high rate. Crime has to increase. And that is why this app, this innovation is here to improve the status of Maracas municipality. That even law enforcers and judges serve only those who grease their palms or their hands, those who can grease their palms or their hands. This means that they only serve those uh, who can give them something. But the poor here suffer because they do not have what to pay to the judges, they do not have what to pay to the law enforcers. Hence, they end up taking the law into their hands. And that is so harmful and it can affect the entire society. So, as we progress, there's another theme that we're going to look at, and this is the theme of corruption, impunity, as well as blackmail. So clearly, it is indicated that law enforcers and judges, as they only uh, deal with those who grace their palms, as they serve only those that can give, only those who can pay some amount illegally. That is so illicit. So it is very clear that that is corruption. It is corruption and it should be dealt with if leadership and the management of resources should be corrected. So this is what this app, if it succeeds, it will be able to deal with amicably. We also told that Mosi tells the principal that it is within her powers as the principal uh, to find a way around. That is on page 17. That the principal should look for a way that shows some impunity. It shows some blackmail as well as corruption. That now the principal does not have a way to control the continuity of this app because they say that the app is already controlled at the national level and the principal has no any other way out concerning this app. The level at which the app reaches is uncontrollable. So corruption is rampant as evident, and as the leaders also in the other parts of the book, they try to entice Madam Nicole to withdraw from this app or from the continuity of this app. It shows some corruption which is rampant, which is a disease that has affected Maracas municipality at large. That leaders from every other arm of government, they join hands to discuss on how to deal with this matter. When, especially when they realize that some of them will be in trouble. There's another theme that we call the theme of environmental degradation and climatic change. This one is talked about commonly and mostly in the presentation of the skit that the two students present together with Madam Nicole. They talk about several issues uh, related to the environmental changes and the climatic changes in future in both sides of the skits. Alvita talks of people who will be taking photos of those who degrade the environment, after which they are posted in the pigeonholes. That shows that there will be some environmental degradation, but due to the innovation of the app, the people of the society will be able to take photos of those who participate in the environmental degradation and post such photos or information to the pigeonholes. Montano predicts a future where the cities have a bad stench, that is a very bad smell. This one, as a result of uh, cleaning water, which was very, very scarce after the climatic change. It's talked about on page 6 that whenever the climate changes in future, then there must be what we call scarcity of water. And scarcity of water will lead to bad stench in the cities, in the homes, in the entire environment, because water is life. And if there is no water, then there are some things which cannot be done. Cleaning of the environment cannot be done, and life of some plants as well as other animals cannot continue. Montana also says that there are unpredictable weather changes and it hardly rains in future. That is on page 6. And that is another indication of some climatic changes which comes as a result of human activities that can be experienced in Maracas municipality. So Montano, in addition, talks of began eating strange things in future, just like insects. He talks of people eating crawling creatures, rodents, and sea creatures. Once the weather patterns change, life expectancy also drops drastically. So all these indicate a clear change of climate in future if care is not taken in good time. But if care is taken in good time, through the help of the new innovation, that is the Samaritan app, then life can be able to change for better for every other citizen in Maracas municipality. We can also look at other themes. The next one is the theme of hopelessness, as well as we can call it desperation. Being desperate. Um, this theme of hopelessness is evident also in the book. It becomes evident when people cannot afford good food and medicine at all, and they suffer from malnutrition. This one is clear and evident on page 7. But if people cannot afford good food, these people do not have hope. They are so desperate. They cannot afford medicine. They are so desperate. They live uh, a very bad life. And this one is even clear even in the current society, the contemporary society in our country, as well as in the East Africa and African nations. This one is very clear that most people cannot afford good food, they cannot afford medicine at all, they suffer from malnutrition. All this is brought as a result of poor leadership. They go hand in hand, all these things. Montano, as well, talks of millions of young people who are loitering aimlessly in streets and villages without gainful employment. All of them were poor, they were very poor, as well as hungry and angry. So it's a clear indication of some desperation as well as hopelessness to the people in Raqqa municipality as well as in our society. That in future, if care is not taken, if the leadership cannot improve, then there will be some hopelessness and desperation among the citizens, which can make uh, many to be jobless as well as poor and hungry at the same time angry. It is so bad and so uh, dangerous when a person is hungry and angry. So that can cause kills. It can cause kills, and that is why uh, the citizens need to be taken good care of by their leaders. Law enforcers and judges, we are told, they only serve those who grease their hands or their palms. Why? This is an indication that the desperate, the poor, have no room here. When the judges only serve those who can grace their palms, those who can give something, then it means there is no life and room for the poor, for the hungry, for those who lack. They only suffer and they end up taking the law into their hands. They do things on their own. That is what can bring some chaos, war, and conflict among citizens. So I will look at one other theme, the theme of poverty. It's interconnected with unemployment and joblessness. So whenever there is no employment, there must be poverty. Whenever people are jobless, there must be poverty. So we can call this the theme of poverty, unemployment, and joblessness. So they are interconnected. So the evidence comes when Montano says that millions of young people who are loitering aimlessly in the streets and villages without gainful employment. That's on page 5. That as all these young people loiter without gainful employment, it becomes a clear indication of poverty because all of them, we are told, they are hungry, they are poor, they are hungry and angry at the same time. So this is poverty of the highest order because they lack employment. They are very poor. They loiter aimlessly because they lack any connection to get jobs. They lack any other way forward. They lack food and they are angry at the same time. So Montano uh, tells Elvita that their country has been producing graduates every year, more than the jobs it can create. That a country produces more graduates every year than the jobs it can create. That is so dangerous. And it is also evident even in our current society that countries are producing graduates every year. Look at our country, Kenya. Most universities are producing graduates every year, over 10,000 graduates every year. And all these graduates, most of them stay jobless for long because the country is not able to create jobs which are more than those graduates or which can fit the number of graduates. It is clear in our African society that jobs creation is another problem that needs to be tackled with a lot of sobriety. Leaders should sit together to embrace this particular idea so that jobs are created depending on the number of graduates every academic year or every year. Whenever graduates come out of universities, they need a place to get income. Failure to that, it will lead to uh, young people loitering in villages aimlessly, or in villages, in streets, looking for jobs, or just aimlessly because they lack hope, they lack where to lean on. So I think up to that point, it has been clear that we have talked about some things and the evidence which is clear from the book. Kindly ensure that you subscribe to my channel, you like the video, and comment for you to continue receiving as many videos, educational videos as possible. Thank you, and may God bless you.